Hello again, all you beautiful minds and souls out there. Welcome to another Letter to Self. Today, I want to talk about this great awakening that we're all experiencing. Whether you call it the great awakening, a quickening, your soul progression, enlightenment, whatever you choose to label the experiences that we're having right now, souls by the masses right now are truly awakening. And I think there can be some confusion in what exactly that means. Now, of course, it's going to mean something different to every individual, just like the work that we're here to achieve is going to be different for the individual. For me, in part, in this great awakening, it is doing these videos and moving beyond my comfort zone and sharing what I've experienced in the last 10 years or so through this great awakening. When it comes to allowing ourselves to find guidance and balance in this great awakening, one of the things I think it's important to realize, it all really depends on the perspective that you're coming from. For example, many people talk about the awakening being the movement from going from a three-dimensional understanding into a 5D reality, if you will. And that's true, but I think a lot of times the misunderstanding in jumping from 3D to 5D is just experienced in the mind as something physical rather than having an understanding that it's to deal with our frequency and our vibration. Are we living in a high vibe at the moment? Are we happy? Are we excited? Are we joyful about life? Or are we putting our attention on all of the transition and chaos that's going on in the third dimension through politics and everything else that the world is experiencing right now? Many times when we are going through, whether you're going through Facebook, whether you're on X and you're reading about all of the things going on in the world today, which is important, truly important for people to come to realize so that we gain our own sovereignty back, so that we gain our minds back and begin to become critical thinkers and make choices for ourselves once again. So it's important to involve ourselves in paying attention to what's going on in the world. But it's also important to make sure that we don't get uh, drained by it. We don't allow our energy to get lowered by it. So, what I want to talk about today in this great awakening is understanding the duality of it and understanding how, through that duality, we have the opportunity to change our perspectives when need be. One of the greatest tools that I'm learning to utilize right now is being able to pay attention to the experience of my mind. If you are watching this video, if you're watching a movie, if you're reading a book, if you're just sitting there by yourself daydreaming, in that moment, what you're actually doing is having a mind experience through your thoughts, through your imagination, and all that's connected to that moment with your thought and imagination is happening within the mind. We have the ability to take that experience that we're having in the mind, especially when it comes to be a really happy experience. We have the ability to integrate that experience into our physical being by literally some physical exercises. So if you find yourself having a really cool experience, again, whether it's a video, watching a movie, whatever it might be, and you want to implement that excitement, implement that experience and imagination that you're having in your mind out here into the physical, there's a literal there are literal steps you can take in order to achieve that. One of the things that's very simple yet can be very powerful is in that moment when you recognize that you've had a really cool mind experience and you want to begin to bring it out here into the physical and mirror it and experience it through breath work, that can be achieved. For example, once you have that mind experience, I want you to use the intention or have the intention of embodying that experience, that mind experience. And so, this just through the practice of breathing in, exhaling, you can even do it a few times, breathing in that experience so that your intention is literally to embody, to bring that experience of the mind into the body so that begins the process of bringing it into your physical reality. Now, other than having the intention of breathing it in, exhaling with the intention of bringing it into the body so that you can literally bring that energy into the body. There's no more of a process that you need to understand. Just allow that to be what it is and know within your own being that the intention alone will set the dynamics for you actually accomplishing something. It will set the vibration for you actually receiving that mental information into your body so that you have the ability to utilize it in different ways rather than it just being a fantasy in the head, if you will. So that practice starts the integration of that mind experience so that it can become part of the physical experience. So, what I mean is, once you have literally, with the intention, breathing that mind experience into the body, just let that be what it is and take the next moment, hours, days, even to integrate into the body that mental experience. And what I mean is just allowing yourself to give yourself a day or two once you have breathe in that energy into the body. Just allow yourself to go throughout your day. Don't even have to place your attention on it anymore. And just throughout a couple days or so, allow yourself to be aware of when thoughts, experiences, situations are similar to that mind experience. Something happens in your day that reminds you about that mind experience that you had. Allow yourself to, in that moment, begin that integration process so that you have the ability to bring it into your physical. So you're basically just breathing in and waiting for more thoughts and imagination and emotions to come. Once you've done that for a few days, I want you to begin to pay attention, or even from the very beginning, begin to pay attention to signs, signals, synchronicities that have to do with that mind experience that you want to have in the physical. And you'll begin to see through mirrored experiences, through experiences that are really emotionally connecting to you, whether it's synchronicities that you're having with yourself and others, or it's just signs throughout your day, you'll begin to realize how this process of bringing in a mental image into the body, waiting to integrate that image into the body, and then using that information, literally using that information to burst out into your physical experience. So you have that opportunity to really experience it in the physical. Now remember, when we're breathing in this mind experience, remember that everything breaks down into light. Energy breaks down into light. So when you're really bringing in light, what you're bringing in when you breathe that in is you're bringing in data. You're bringing in information into the body. And then it gives you a tool in the body, a vibration, a frequency, an energy in the body, along with the connection of your mind to give yourself the ability to manifest it out into the physical. And it can work it can work in a myriad of different ways. It can work in any way, in any manifestation that you're looking to achieve. For years, I've done it with our metaphysical fairs. Months before our metaphysical fairs, I make sure to take a daily exercise and bring myself to my center and visualize, our fair with a bunch of exciting people coming together, vendors coming with the opportunity to visualize their own abundance, coming in with the opportunity to share their experiences, their gifts and talents that they have to offer, and seeing just really nice positive energy throughout the entire weekend happening so that everybody that comes and goes throughout the weekend sees this metaphysical fair as a very positive experience for themselves, whether that's individuals coming in from the community or whether that's vendors that are there to share their gifts and talents to the community. All are involved in this energy flow. And so throughout the experience, I really visualize that, centering myself and breathing it again, embodying that mental experience into my body. And so what that can do is, if you allow it to, and those images are positive in nature, you could feel that positive vibration in your being. You can feel that excitement coming, that anticipation for the fair to finally get here, the ability for myself and others to share what we have to offer to each other, and really see that bank account going up as we're starting to really create that abundance for itself. But paying attention to those positive images and breathing them in through breath work, embodying that image, really begins the process of the physical body vibrating in alignment to the image. And then from there, what I do is I literally send out that information to the vendors. I'll spend a few moments visualizing, connecting with my vendors. I'll visualize the venue itself and the owner of the venue and connect with him, and just through thought and imagination really connect, so that as I'm integrating this experience of that mental image of the fair, the action that I'm taking here in the physical is really connecting with them and allowing that energy to go out. And it's worked like magic over the years. How, especially when I'm wanting a couple more vendors, I'll literally spend time that day, that evening, or that morning, whichever, and actually place my attention through this integration process of imagining, embodying, integrating, and then allowing the process to continue through connecting with others. When I need to have a few more vendors, and it's amazing because sometimes it can be instantly, sometimes it can be a matter of hours, or it can be the next morning that all of a sudden the vendors are flowing in again. And so I know from my own practices that this process of taking a mind experience, allowing yourself to breathe in and embody the experience, integrating it into your body so that that energy becomes energy within your body and a tool to manifest with. I know that it works because I've done it for years. And in the past year or so, have just taken it to deeper and deeper levels. It's given me the opportunity to have the video that I'm having with you now. I'm going to kind of share what it is and the tools that I utilize to manifest, especially when it comes to trying to keep ourselves centered in this great awakening. Many of us think that this great awakening is all about light and love and being positive and enjoying your life, and it is very much in alignment with that, this great awakening. And there's purpose behind placing our attention there. It's very important that in this present moment to create our future for ourselves by, through that imagination, that positive imagination, visualizing the lives that we want for ourselves. But it's also important in this day and age to recognize the blocks, if you will, in our fields, in the energy, in the world around us. And so when I speak of this great awakening and having the ability to embody and integrate a mental imagination, it's important to recognize where we're placing our attention in this world. And if we are in the moment placing it on negative aspects of situations that are happening in the world, it's important not to unconsciously absorb that into our being so that we actually experience it out in the physical, into our physical reality. It's important to be able to pay attention to this process of absorbing and integrating so that we're doing it with awareness. So that when we are focusing on something negative, we're able to breathe and detach ourselves from it rather than unconsciously, through anxiety, breathe and take it in. Because that can begin to create within your own vibration a negative vibration, and one that you're not wanting to have, rather than a positive vibration in alignment where you're wanting the world to go. So where am I taking all of this? When it comes to this great awakening, and again, whatever you call it, it's important to be able to know how to balance yourself. Pay attention to the world around you and a lot of the negativity that's happening in the world, but at the same time, be able to visualize your future and create positive experiences for yourself so that you have the life that you desire. And I have found that this paying attention to how you're thinking, paying attention to how you're using your imagination, paying attention to your visualization skills, and are you using them in a positive manner or are you using them in a negative manner, is really going to determine on a daily basis, and sometimes moment to moment, the kind of life that you're having. But if all you're doing is paying attention to the negative chaos in the world, absorbing all of this energy, having all of these mental images that are in that lower vibration, that's going to reflect out in your physical world. If you are aware that you are awakening spiritually, but you think that it's only about light and love, and so you just allow all that negativity to not even exist in your world, That can have its negative effects as well, in the fact that you're not allowing yourself to see those blocks and negative energies within your life, because we're experiencing, especially through social media right now, it's absolutely everywhere. Whether you're on your computer, on your phone, on your television, you're constantly being bombarded by information. And if we're not recognizing what we are receiving energetically according to the information that we're paying attention to, our lives can go awry without even knowing it. But if we have the ability to pay attention to where our perspective is in any given situation, pay attention to the intentions that we have for doing things, recognize where our mind is in alignment or out of alignment with our physical body and or with our physical world, it gives us the ability to literally have steps to take in order to achieve the life that we're looking for. In this case, again, in this great awakening, the simple exercise of paying attention to your mental images, and when they're positive, breathing them in with the intention to embody that experience. Bring that mind experience into the body. Continue to breathe, be present with yourself, be patient with yourself, so that mind experience begins to integrate into information you can use in this physical world as thoughts and energy, so that you can, through all the chaos in this world, actually have choice. Even though there's chaos here, you have the choice to recognize the chaos, allow the chaos to be what it is, but in turn, turn your perspective and your energies to something that you want to achieve. It takes balance, it takes attention, it takes, most of all, love for the self. In this day and age, I think that's all we could use, we all could use a lot of more of, is loving ourselves on deeper and deeper levels. And so I wanted to be able to share my understanding of the ability to process thought and just use that thought, knowing its energy, into the body, so that you have the ability to share that with awareness, to share that with intention, so that you have some tools within your belt to utilize and practice with to create the lives that you want to out there. I think one more thing that's important to speak about is when you're using this process or any process that you are recognizing that works as a tool for you in this spiritual awakening and your spiritual growth, it's important to have an open mind with it all. It's important to play with it all, and it's important to have fun with it all, so that you actually gain the awareness and the control over your life and how you manifest in your life that you want to. Another beautiful experience that I had with this process was with my dog Ollie. I absolutely love her. I love all my animals, but she's got a very special place in my heart. And I was sitting there and I was watching. I think I was watching a movie, and the thought came in about animals, and we always hear about survival of the fittest kind of thing when it comes to animals, and only the strong survive. So it's the lions, the tigers, and bears that are the ones that rule the animal kingdom, if you will. And there's fighting, and there's eating of each other, and there's all of these things that we have been trained to see when it comes to the animal kingdom, and a lot of it is really based in the vibration of fear, the vibration of worry, if you will, when it comes to the animal kingdom. And many of us in this day and age don't even venture out into the animal worlds, other than maybe having pets. But the thought, I had that thought that there is, and knowing within my connections to my animals, maybe there's more to animals, and maybe we're not giving them enough credit. And so in that moment, I just allowed myself to breathe in that mind experience, to embody that mind experience. And throughout the next couple of days, just paying attention to my animals, and thinking more about it, that, you know what, I know that here's part of the process of the integration. Another thought that came later was, I know that I have the ability to have a telepathic rapport with my animals. I know that they have the ability to sense positive and negative energies coming from individuals. So you can tell when they like somebody or when they don't, or when they think the person might be a little nervous or sketchy. They'll bark at the person or what have you. But they have that telepathic ability with me, and they have the ability to sense other people's energies. And so that's already, as I'm integrating the thought of them being higher beings, bringing more thoughts and energy into my body about animals. And so I'm continuing to go throughout my day, and I do a daily walk in the backyard. And I had my Ollie, I had my dog there with me, and she's just had a birthday. This is more of the integration process. She had just had a birthday, and I was out there walking with her because she was really excited and just pinging from every angle, just having being excited being outside. And she had so much energy. And I noticed after her birthday here in May, she's actually become more excitable. She's become, I wouldn't say aggressive, but she's more exuberant with her little personality. She is. She's coming to life more, if you will. And again, explaining this integration process. So as I'm watching her in the backyard, I really noticed, and that's when the understanding just came to me almost full circle in my mind, body, and spirit. It says, you know what? When it comes to a dog, in comparison to the years of a human being, generally speaking, we say that from the time a pup is born until their first year, in comparison to that of a human, that's like 7 years of age. And in that moment, I realized, wow, that's what I'm seeing about when it comes to this excitement within my little Ollie. She's moved out of the understanding of that root chakra now into the sacral. And so that completely explained to me in that moment why, after her birthday, she's all of a sudden so excited and so much more exuberant and such a brighter and a louder personality because she's moved from that energy, from the energy of the chakra into the energy of the sacral, which is very much about passion. And so having that first thought about there's got to be more intelligence and spirits when it comes to an animal, and allowing myself to breathe in, embody that experience, integrate it into my body so that it became a part of my being, if you will, through continuous thoughts and continuous emotions, brought me full circle to an understanding with animals through that understanding of, wow, she's really moving energetically from one chakra into another. And so just allowing myself to breathe in the thought that there's got to be something more spiritually and energetically when it comes to animals allowed me to have this train of thought and see it reflected out in my world through my puppy. The experience that I was having in my mind that I brought into my body began to nurture itself into my body and was finally expressed outwardly in my physical world by my puppy running around and all of the dots coming together. And I know that this process is not over. Now that I've started the process of absorbing, embodying, integrating that original thought pattern, higher energies of animals, it's going to continue to flow in my physical world and in my body, in my mind, in my emotions, so that those understandings of animals only become deeper and deeper and deeper. And so what it really did here in the physical, when it comes to a physical experience, it allowed me to really expand my heart out even more to my animal, to love her on an even deeper level, and to appreciate her with a much deeper gratitude, and know that in so many ways, I think they're higher levels of beings because they know the energy of unconditional love. And many times because they don't talk or they don't communicate like we do, or they don't have hands and feet like we do, or they don't think the same, or we kind of have a tendency to think of them as lesser beings. And I think the exact opposite can be true because they have the ability to love us unconditionally, regardless of how we're being in any given moment. They always come back for more love, have that open heart. And so this process of breathing in those mental energies are really can be really miraculous for you and the experiences that you have in this physical world. That's just one example I'm showing you with the fair, or a couple of them, the fair and my pup. But this process really does work. And so I wanted to be able to share that with you. Practice it, play with it, breathe in those mental images that you're having, those mental fantasies that you're having. Breathe them in with the intention of embodying that experience. Allow yourself to contemplate that experience through integration for a few days and see, play with these energies, utilize these energies, and see how they express themselves in your physical world. Light and love to you all. See you in the next one.